Hey guys, here we are. This is Başak, yoga therapist and teacher and an engineer. Welcome.
Hello, guys. This is Kate, yoga therapist. We is a podcast about learning, awakening, and empowerment, where spirituality and wisdom guides us to live with clarity, purpose, and inner strength. Welcome.
Hey, today we are talking about peace, the
Yes.
myth of peace, and what is peace really, and how do we gain inner peace? What do we need to do, and what are some of the misconceptions of peace?
It's a really good topic because we all are looking for peace, I think, even if we don't know it, we are. But I wanted to start with a definition of peace that actually was what, before they adopted the word peace in Old English from the Romans, pax, P-A-X, they used a couple of words to express the same thing. The first one was frio, which means freedom from disturbance. So that is interesting, right? So that was one thing. And then the other word that they would use for peace was sib, S-I-B-B, meaning kinship or harmony. So I thought that was two ways that they saw peace as harmony and freedom. And I thought that was very interesting before they used the actual word peace. What do you
Yeah,
think
and
about it?
in Sanskrit, shanti is also coming from this alleviation,
Yes.
alleviating the burden, or yeah, like it's kind
Yes.
of a similar idea, I think. It's
Yeah.
interesting because people are looking for peace, and it feels like, oh, peace might mean that everything is great. Right?
Well, that would be good. That would be good.
That peace might mean that there's no problems. It's
Ah,
peaceful. But
yes.
is it really?
Well, that's a very good question. And I think your leading question is that no, the answer is no, because, but the purpose is that which we come to a lot in our discussions of yoga, is that in the midst of the turmoil, in the midst of the craziness of life, how do we find peace? How do we find that stillness? How do we find that moment where we can be, it's okay, you know? So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's, it again comes from, I feel, first we need to become aware,
yes,
right? Become aware of our thoughts, our patterns, and then we can maybe work towards transcending them, noticing you know, not being controlled by them, noticing them but not being attached to them. So it's kind of like shifting from reacting to observing again.
yes, yes. So it's like self-observation to know what your quote unquote triggers are or know when you are reacting something and then taking time or space to not react that way. It's like I always think also is that in terms of pieces that you don't want to fight. You don't want to fight with yourself. You don't want to fight with others. You don't want to fight with the process of the world and where it's sending you. If you can just give up the fight. I mean, that sounds like you're letting yourself be walked over, which is not what I mean. But you know that sense of letting go of the battle. Does that make sense to you, or what do you
Yeah,
think?
I totally hear where you're coming from,
Yeah.
because the battle is usually related to your attachments or how things need to be. And anything against that, it becomes undesirable. That's something that you need to protect yourself from almost.
Right.
And that is, again, see, there's an unconscious involved here too. It's so beautiful. I was sharing in my newsletter this month. I had Ananda Chidrupananda,
Yes.
Avadhuta. He sends me periodically these beautiful poems that he writes. And in his latest poem, there was a phrase that really, really hit me very deeply. He said, awareness beyond, or truth beyond comfort. And that's a big distinction too, because we are aware until a point, until we are, as long as we are comfortable with that truth. But
Ah,
the minute that it touches something and becomes uncomfortable, we have tendency to avoid it
right,
and not really go deep into that, because that may mean making really major changes sometimes,
right,
which we may not be ready for, right? So that can really in the and nag into something, and that becomes a still a very quiet defense mechanism, even though you might say, oh, I'm aware, oh, I'm taking some steps, but until a point, there's a point that is untouchable in most of us, really. So
would you read
that's
that
like
quote again? Would you just read what that, or say that quote again?
that. I don't
What?
have it in front of me, but
Oh,
it
yes,
said,
sorry.
truthfulness beyond comfort.
Truthfulness beyond comfort. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, in that way, because if we can really be with truth, comfortable, uncomfortable, right? To me, that is a peaceful state of being. That conditions don't need to be beautiful or good or great
Right.
or align with what you want, but you can still be there and be able
Yes.
to, stay calm and
I
observe.
love that. Would you say that, because would you say that aligns with this idea of at some point in one's life, or some people come to this way early, and some, like me, probably later, when I always wanted to feel like I was right, not right, but I was very uncomfortable with feeling like I didn't know something. And I remember when I just started to say, oh, I don't know. I don't know. And that was so freeing. I found so much peace in that. It was that confidence that comes from saying, I know nothing. I really don't. Why are you laughing? You're laughing at me.
Because I just read a post. I think I posted on our V site too. I
Oh,
need to
really?
find it
Oh,
because
no.
you're really talking into that. Hold on, let me just find it quickly.
Okay.
But I totally relate to what you're saying. This is not the
Yeah.
only you, right?
Yes, of
Completely.
course not.
I think we
Of
can
course
all
not.
relate to that. But
Yes.
this saying was so cool. It said, hold on, let me just get to that.
Yeah.
Oh, intelligent individuals learn from everything and everyone. Average people from their experiences. The stupid already have all the answers. I mean,
Well,
don't
I
you
was
think so?
very stupid at some point in my
We,
life.
we are. That's true. It's, to admit something that you don't know, I think is very hard for all of us. I totally can feel that for myself.
Yes, yes. But then
But
when
that's
you
like the
do,
shackle again, right? That's again
yes,
like binding you.
yes, yeah. And there's just so wonderful. I mean, just to say I don't know and tell me, even if you then don't, then you apply discernment to it. You're like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe do I agree with that or I don't agree with that? But it's just so freeing. So freedom and peace. I guess it goes back.
Exactly.
There's an alignment there, right? Yes.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, there is a tightness in trying to control things, trying to know things, right?
Yes.
And the minute that you say, I don't know,
Yeah.
right? That opens up this whole space,
Yes.
first of
Yeah.
all. Freedom, that's how it feels like freedom. And it could be, difficult and unstable at the beginning because growth is unstable at the beginning, right? But I
Yes.
feel that, the minute that you open yourself to be vulnerable again,
Yes.
then you might start seeing things that you used to avoid, right?
Yes. It reminds me, when we first met doing yoga and doing more asana, I think they asked what we loved about yoga. And I think we both said the freedom. And I think at that point it was more the physical freedom because, you do the same thing.
Space.
Yeah, you get this stiff body that you're starting to open up and find that freedom in your body. And then that translates into this freedom of the mind and the spirit, which comes comes later for some people. I'm a late bloomer, you know? That's always been my thing. It's just
I
comes
don't know. You
later.
keep saying
Yeah.
that about
Yes.
yourself, but I was
Yeah.
attracted to you from the beginning because I did feel that kinship of us, our desire to learn and grow, I think
Yes.
really brings us together. And
Absolutely.
and again, because the path is not an arrival point, right? There is no like, oh, I conquered that. I know this. It's about the journey that we are in. And journey is sometimes very uplifting and uphill and sometimes really downhill, right?
Yes.
I think that's just
Absolutely.
nature of it.
Yes. And actually, as you're just talking about that, like this journey, I'm feeling more, and I don't know whether this relates to peace or not, but I'm feeling more and more about the journey through life is one of dissolving. I don't know why. That,
Oh, wow.
I know of like shedding and shedding and shedding and dissolving. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
physically, mentally, everything, just so that you become more free. You become more this, people say free spirit, but that's got too many things attached to it. But essentially that, you know?
It's like releasing resistance, right? We just,
Yeah.
use that a lot in yoga, especially, um, you know, yin yoga, restorative yoga. We are always talking about this. How can we release the muscular tension, mental, emotional tension by, releasing the resistance to
Yes.
what's happening? Because that resistance is creating sometimes more stress than the situation itself.
Yes.
If you let that resistance fade away, you might actually look at a situation with a mindset of finding solution better or understanding something that you haven't before. I mean, peace again isn't fixing everything, right?
Right.
It's
That's a
allowing.
very good thing. It's allowing. I love that. It's not fixing everything, so everything's right. It's allowing. Yeah.
Yeah, because that point of trying to fix everything again is like control, another bondage.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do you go about during your day? Do you do you think about peace during your day? Like do you like or occasionally, or if you do, how does it come up for you?
I think, you know, I can give an example from yoga again, of course. That's where I go to, right?
Yeah.
Like in yoga, we are always, not always, we are trying to find a place of ease when we are in practice, which is very difficult for a lot of us. When you first start the yoga, you're all about control. You're trying to control your body, try to control your muscles, you try to control the pose, how you are in the pose. There's so much like this tension of trying to do it right.
Right.
But then there comes a time with overtime and practice, like Nagme was saying last episode, that you start finding ease and letting go and relaxing more and more into the pose. Then it becomes a whole another level of practice, right?
Yes.
There's so many different levels of practice.
Right.
So I feel that when you tap into that point, then the mind becomes extremely calm because there's no achieving tension in the mind. You're just simply embodying the practice. And then that is to me a point of peace,
Yes. Yes.
right? So
Yeah.
if I'm not constantly starving for something, constantly reaching for something, then I can maybe just sit and be. And
Right.
that is peaceful state.
Right. And so what you're actually describing there is something, a practice you can do every day called meditation, right? That can
Easy.
actually,
No,
like
it's
we were
not
talking
easy.
about peace being a bit of a muscle, like the more you try to not find, try to relax into peace, the easier it becomes to do that. And oftentimes sitting to meditate, you're one is again dissolving all these thoughts and strivings and just being. And if you can cultivate that in a daily practice or a weekly practice or whatever you do, that's
Then
helpful.
it can go into the place of like detachment or avoidance. And it's not that either. We need to make that
Yes.
distinction too,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It is not leaving the moments, it's
Right.
staying in the moments
Yes.
without being overwhelmed.
Yes. Yeah. Like if you're in the subway, for instance, in New York City, and you
It's
have to
so
be,
entertaining to me.
it's
I don't
so,
know. I
it
find
is.
it very entertaining.
Well, that's a good way to spend your time in the subway. But you know how the subway works perfectly all the time until you have to be somewhere at a specific time, and then that's the one time it doesn't work. And then that's
100%.
when you need to employ not only peace, but your ability to control all kinds of emotions, right?
No, listen, I
Yeah.
mean, I know a lot of people, including myself, when everything is going your way, everything is smooth, you're peaceful. It's so easy, right?
Yes,
But then
exactly.
the minute something goes wrong, you're
Right.
not peaceful anymore.
Yes.
So that's a good example. If you have to, I mean, it happens with me. I swear, every time I'm going to a play, to theater,
Oh, yeah.
there's always a train
Yeah.
problem.
Issue.
Train
Yeah.
gets stuck, it doesn't come, or you're in it, you're stuck, and you're like, oh my God, I want to get there. So the minute that the thought comes to mind of I need to get there, then almost it's like life, like God is laughing at you and saying that no, 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 you
No,
don't
no.
need. There's nowhere to get to,
Yeah.
right? Just be where you are.
Right. Right. And
So I
enjoy
mean,
that. Yeah.
exactly. And then if you can just remind yourself that it's like almost that simple awareness check-in. Like,
Yeah.
looking at situation as like not what's happening to me, but why it is happening, and maybe it's happening for me to have
Yeah.
a new realization. In Bhakti Circle, this is said a lot, life is not happening to me, but it's happening for me.
For me. Yes.
And that really shifts, and that really brings into the mind into peace more, I feel.
Yes. I think that's a really a lovely way to look at it. And also, I think when you say, in bhakti, I sort of think of community, and then you have to realize that you're in this together. There's other people on the train. It's not just you, right? So,
Yes.
hello, right? So that's another
So,
thing. Take yourself out of the center sometimes, right?
oh,
Because
that's another bhakti teaching. Thank
is
you
that
for
it
saying
is?
that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah. Take yourself out of the center. It's
Yes.
not about you always,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It's for you, but not just about you.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I was,
So,
yeah. I was listening to um, this wonderful woman who's actually sort of a psychic. She's written a couple of books. I'll put her name and everything. She's well known, but she just talks about us being as sort of souls, as a group, like we're all here on the earth at the same time, and we're sort of this pod of souls that are sharing this journey, this sort of dance that we're doing. And I just love that image of us all sort of. It just makes you feel like we're all in this together, you
more
know?
connected to each
Yes,
other, right? Than we
absolutely.
think we are.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was doing a corporate yoga class in this place, in this company. And, I don't know normally I do it more of a generic way. In generic way doesn't mean I just don't talk yoga stuff too much, or I don't talk about the feelings and things more. I just really start focusing on the body physical release,
Yes.
because the audience, I don't know them. They are not my continuous clients. I see them only once. So I don't know where they're at in their journey of life. So I try to access from like we were talking with Nagme again last week, from a physical point of view.
Right.
But somehow this last week when I did this session with first time in this company, I talked about love.
Mm.
And I don't know where that come from, but and I talked in a way that how all we need. I'm gonna quote
You're
Beatles
going to be
stuff,
Beatles now.
but literally, like love is the starting and ending of everything in life. And can I tell you, I could feel the energy shift in the place
Ah,
because we all are very connected more than we know when it
mhm.
comes to this core thing that
Yeah.
is really within everybody's heart,
Yeah.
this love, right?
Yeah.
So, and it was just so pleasant, and people were
Yeah.
just so open and discussing things afterwards. And I was like, wow, so there's no time and place. People are people everywhere, and we need to
Right.
just try to connect with each other with deeper little bits, not just the surface.
No, that's a beautiful story. And it sort of brings me into this other thing about, where again, we talked a bit about this, I think, a couple of episodes ago about how there's a lot of tension in the world right now, things going on. And so this idea of peace, in a bigger level, like how do we address that? And I think like we always say, you have to start with yourself and your attitude with other people. Are you peaceful with other people? Can you be kind to other people? It's going to start there because it's sort of like this effect that will keep going, you hope, if you are kind to everybody and loving to everybody around you as
I
best.
love what you said because this is, peace sometimes is mixed with this like constant state of happiness.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's more like stability, right? Or less reactivity.
Yes.
Having this
Yes.
having this sense that no whatever happens you can handle the outcome. You can
Yes.
handle it. You can just be there and yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it starts with your interactions too. And this is sometimes hard for people. Some people I know are very into like blurting what's in their mind or just not really considering the other person, but really offloading what they want to. If we are in this together, we need to consider each other. So that, yeah,
Yeah.
that
Well,
makes me.
also, I mean, it also makes me think about this thing of, what you say and what you do is very important, obviously, but what you think too, because sometimes for whatever reason you come up against somebody or a situation we talk about. Now we can talk about people where your energy doesn't align and you feel some kind of negative thing. So how do you just deal with that without being unkind, or that's a real practice that can help bring peace to you, I think, if you can just do that mentally. Have you had that experience? Do you? Yes.
100%.
Yes.
And also what I got from your sharing was, thoughts, right? Paying attention to your thoughts. But again, peace is not necessarily always thinking happy thoughts.
No.
Like a being fake about it, right? It's
Right.
like it's like a toxic positivity, you can
Yeah.
call.
Yeah.
It's not like bypassing what is happening, real emotions, because that becomes also kind of an ego base too, a
Yeah.
little bit. Chasing that always, things are fine.
Yes.
That's not truthful either.
Yes. Yeah.
So, how can you find this again balanced state? That's why we practice yoga, right? How can I find this balanced state where I can observe without reacting
Yeah.
and learn, and so that my response comes from this deeper place, more thoughtful place, right?
Yes. More authentic place,
And
perhaps. Yeah.
overall, I feel that when we are authentic to ourselves and we can express ourselves more, as truthful as we are, I
Yes.
feel then that comes peace.
Yes. Oh, 100%. I mean, I'm one of those people, and people are very sick of me hearing this, but with boundaries, I've always had troubles. And the older I've gotten and the better I am with boundaries, saying just truthfully, I just cannot do this. I'm tired or I just don't have enough time and I love you. I would love to be there, but I just cannot. And it's just so easy. There's an ease in that. And the person goes, of course, no worries. And I used to be so worried I would hurt their feelings and da 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 da. And all that time wasted on all those things.
But you
I,
don't understand this like until I think you are, working on yourself and, questioning things, that everything is a practice.
yes,
Nothing is naturally all of a sudden in one moment comes. Like peace is a practice too. You were saying it's
yes,
not a destination, it's a practice.
yeah,
So
yeah,
when you look at it from that angle, then you don't, you know, beat yourself up for things that you've done or said, or nothing cannot be undone. I mean,
yes,
not nothing, but most things, right?
yes.
So it's,
So, well,
it's the journey.
it's a
Yeah.
journey. So the journey, I sort of had some of these things about, and just, I don't know, I just threw these down and I don't know why, but I'm going to read them to you.
Yeah.
So peace is going from resisting to accepting, going from
Check.
judging. But this is interesting. I'm not sure if I'll do this one last. Go from separating to adding,
Mm,
or separating to, I've meant from fractured to whole.
yeah.
Yeah. From worrying to solving,
Beautiful.
maybe. From dissonance to harmony,
Mhm.
from complaining to thanking.
Yeah, because it's happening for me.
Yes. And then this one, this is a harder one, from judging to discriminating.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Because judging has this like very dark energy, right? Like, it's just who are you to judge? Like what are you?
Yes,
And
yes.
usually people who judge are, they are that, right? Like there is something that's touching them to judge it in that way.
Yeah.
Um, but discriminating is healthy,
Yes, exactly.
right?
Yes.
Discriminate. We need to discriminate
Yes. In order to have peace.
in a way that it is supportive and it is not harming others, just
Right.
choosing the right path, choosing the right way or whatever, right practice.
Yeah. I guess we have to describe, when I say discriminating, I mean in terms of you're mentally trying to make a choice on something.
Choice
Yes, yes,
discrimination.
yes,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm meaning. Yep, yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Um, and a beginner's mind gives you peace too, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love that what I think you said it earlier that um, peace is something that's I think gained when you stop fighting.
Yes, yeah,
Let it be. I
right.
mean, again, Beatles, like, hello.
I know.
But when it,
No.
I think Beatles, the
Imagine.
guides are around me today that like
Yes,
whispering in my
I
ear.
know. John Lennon is right there. I can see him.
I mean, wow, what a wise people, amazing, courageous people.
I
Yeah.
know. Unbelievable. Yeah. So what can we go take what takeaways? I don't know why I'm into this today,
I
but
love that, though. No, I mean, make
okay.
the concept into practice, right? That's what we are
Exactly.
teaching. I think we talked about some of this already, like awareness check-ins during your day, right?
Yes.
Am I reacting? Am I resisting right now? Like, can I just observe? That already brings mind into peace because now mind doesn't need to solve something,
Right. Right.
just witness only.
Yes, and here's another one that sort of helps too. Can you, it's related. Can you not respond like someone says something, and rather than immediately defensive or whatever it is, or even if it's to just take
So
a
good.
breath, right?
So good because
Yes,
when you don't respond, you're not putting more fuel into the fire and they can hear themselves talking.
yes,
And in the midst of it, they might catch themselves.
yes. I
And
have to
that's what you hope for.
Yes, I have to say that is I've been using that more and more, because I'm a verbal person. I love to talk, and so I sort of get caught up in that. And more I've been trying not to. And it's so interesting because then people can have space to hear themselves.
But then it also gets very uncomfortable for the person
It
that's
can.
talking because there's a quiet silence, right? But then in that silence, you can hear yourself, and the person
Yes.
you listen most is yourself.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a secret weapon. It's
I
a secret
totally think
weapon.
so.
Yeah.
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 Because it creates a lot of insecurity when somebody is being quiet and letting you talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, ooh.
All
And
right.
then I would
Anyway,
say
what?
the last one I would say in terms of practices, like just in daily moments to ground yourself.
Like physically ground yourself, mentally
Yeah,
ground
physically,
yourself.
mentally, because stress is happening in the mind. We know this.
Yes.
And the minute that you drop into your body, maybe taking deep breaths, maybe walking, maybe doing some routine things that just to ground you into the earth, literally, physically too. That could, or to this moment, being present in the moment, can alleviate some of that mental stress to find more peace.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. So those are three things with a little sidestep we had in there about not talking, but that you can do, you can actually do if you find yourself getting caught up in this sort of fight or flight kind of thing, right? And you
Totally.
need to find peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we did it. I started the time clock and I totally forgot to press
Yes.
it. afterwards. So I don't know how much it's been, how long it's been, but we probably exhausted the topic for now.
For now,
Um,
yes.
so thank you for listening, everyone.
Yes, I hope you will find a lot of peace in your day if you're listening to this right now, and love.
Mm, and love.
Mhm. Thank you, Bashak.
Thank you, Kate.
Joy, as always.
Same.
Shall
Bye
we,
bye.
shall we dance?
Yes.
That's a good way to find peace. Singing and dancing.
Yes. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Oh, there it is.